I tried every single AI tool for students out there, and here is my list for the top 10 that I actually use every single day and find insanely useful. I divided the tools into 4 main categories: understanding and memorizing, presentation related tools, essay related tools, and plagiarism related tools. And the first tool that I think is a must-have for everybody who's a student is BingAI. And the reason I like this tool so much is because it's basically GPT-4 for free. So I have it on my Mac in the sidebar and on my iPad, and the possibilities with a tool like this is just endless. Sometimes I ask it to simplify things. Sometimes I take a screenshot of my slide and then show it to the AI to explain it to me. Sometimes I ask it to create questions to test myself and revise. It's just so many things you can do with it, but it's limited to like 30 questions in a day, so keep that in mind. All of the tools that I'm gonna mention in this video are free, except the very last one, and the only reason I'm including this one is because I really think if you have the money to invest in one tool, it should be this one. But anyway,
there's also another tool that I always use for understanding. It's this insane function in ChatGPT, and I'll show you. It's basically just a button, and if you press it, like, it creates a conversation between you and ChatGPT. And I often just have it next to my slides and I keep asking it questions just like it's a normal conversation. Hey ChatGPT, you are now live on YouTube. Do you want to tell them to subscribe?
Sure thing. Hey everyone watching. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated with all the latest videos.
another one that I found to be quite useful and a bit cool is called Tutor AI. And when you give it a topic, it divides the topics into subtopic and break it down for you so you can take it a step by step. But you can also ask it to simplify things, give examples, take a quiz, or ask it questions. But the reason that I don't use it as much is because I think you're limited to the number of times you can use it a day, and also ChatGPT and BingAI can do the same thing, so it's more convenient to use those. When it comes to the presentation related tools, I think I've got a couple that I really like. The first one, I like it because you can set a tone, a topic, and then a number of slides, but I find the text to be generic and the photos to be horrific, so I just use it to generate idea of how I'm gonna structure my presentation. But the second one is really impressive. I asked it to create a presentation about dysbiosis and obesity, and the slides it generated are actually insanely good. It had related images, some tables, some stats, and it gives you the freedom to edit wherever you want, and it has some shortcuts. It's like, it's a proper software, and I highly recommend this one. It's called Visme, Visme. I don't know. Coffee break. When it comes to essay related tasks, I think Perplexity is really good because it's basically a replacement for Google. It can understand what you're asking it, and it will give you more accurate and related results than Google, especially when it comes to academic stuff, because Perplexity can give you a link to a paper. For example, I've asked it to give me papers about the link between dysbiosis and obesity, and it did actually give me some really good papers. But the paid tool that I mentioned at the start, I think is way better, but I will talk about it in a second. The other tool that is essay related is called MyBib. It's not really AI, but you can give it the link and then it will generate your references. I know it might seem basic, but I've met so many people who don't know about it, and all of the other tools that are used for referencing are a bit complicated, they're a bit weird, but this one is very user friendly and I highly recommend it for referencing. You can choose whatever style you want and you just give it the link and it will do the rest. So yeah, highly recommend it. And speaking of essay, let's jump on to the plagiarism related AI tool, because the last thing we want is to get plagiarized on our work, but sometimes it happens by mistake. So the way to avoid it is using AI detectors. I was using Grammarly AI detector, which I found to be quite good, but I found a better one which is called GPT-0, and this one is really good because it tells you the sentences that it thinks it's AI, so you can maybe rephrase them, fix them, so that you can avoid being plagiarized. So I highly recommend this tool. Maybe at the end of your essay, maybe just stick your text in there and then just analyze what is AI and what's not, so that you avoid being plagiarized. And last but certainly not least is the paid tool that I was gonna talk about, which is GPT-4. This thing is insane. Not because of GPT-4 itself, but plugins. There are a few plugins that I think are game changers when it comes to ChatGPT. For example, you can ask it to generate slides, you can ask it to read PDF, you can ask it to create diagrams, you can ask it to browse the web with Web Pilot, and the key one that I wanted to mention is Tutor AI. This thing is a game changer because it gives it all the data that it needs so that ChatGPT can actually read papers, and you can ask it questions about the paper, you can ask it to summarize it, you can ask it to find good papers, and it just saves so much time, and I highly recommend it. And there's also this plugin which lets ChatGPT be much better at maths problems. So there's endless plugins and I highly recommend it if you want to invest in one AI tool, because each of these AI tools there's a separate subscription for it. So why not pay one subscription so that you can get all of them at once? And a really cool thing is that you can even give it PDFs. So I really like it when we have a quiz at the end of the lecture because you can know what to improve on, but most of the time lecturers don't provide any quizzes. So previously I could not add a PDF, but here with GPT-4 you can give it a PDF and it will be able to read it and give you questions on it, or even ask it anything about the lecture. So there's definitely a lot of features that makes GPT-4 worth it. I will link all of them down below, and let me know if you have any others, and thank you for watching.